Well,
So I'm gonna share my screen again,
yes.
and so I'm gonna search up free editing software.
Yeah.
Right? Should I do that?
Do it. It's whatever you feel like. Remember? It's about what you feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you know any? Will any of these over here work?
CapCut works. CapCut definitely works. You can use CapCut. CapCut's a really good editing software you can use. It's
Is it
like
for PC?
yes, it's for PC. Yes, both for PC and for phone. You could get CapCut both PC and phone and Android. These
All right.
okay.
Yeah, I'm downloading it right now.
CapCut is a beginner of an editing software. So let's just say you're editing something, but you don't know what to use. You don't know which editing software you don't know how to edit with like a bigger editing software. So you just use a beginner editing software. That's what I normally use. Actually, you know what? Normally I started off when I was a beginner. I used a different video editing software, but it was hard for me to edit because I didn't know how to edit until I started editing until I was like 10. I edited when I was 9, but I didn't know how to edit back then until when I was 10 years old. Actually, that's not true. That's not true because when I was 9 years old, I started editing on my phone. Then I started editing on my computer when I was 10. I didn't know to edit because I've been using computers for years now. Ever since I first went to school, and there's a technology class they had at my old school, my really old school that I had years ago. They had computers. They had their own technology room, and they had these big computers where you could make your own. You could I want you could check. You could make your own stuff. You could they teach you how to edit. They teach you how to make documents. They teach you how to type on a computer. It took me a bit for me to get taught how to type until someone teached me how to type, and now I know how to do all this typing. I know how to do all this editing software. I know how to do all this now since I learned about it at school. I was really interested in technology stuff when I was younger, mostly technology. I That's how I learned how to do all of this. I learned all of
Yeah.
this because of my technology class when I was really young. I believe it was kindergarten. I started using computers because normally they also had there was another building there's let's just say there's two buildings on the so basically pretty much my school had a blue building and my school also had a red building. They had a little bridge you go past the red building. I mean, you go past you go past when you're in the blue building.
Yeah.
You go past it and then you go make it to the red building. That's normally where my aftercare was when I was younger. But now it was more for high. It was more for it was more for a middle schooler. It was like a middle school highway. And afterwards you go back. And afterwards, normally if I was still at my school, I would have been at the blue building by now because mostly the blue building is for elementary and for high schoolers. I mean, let's just say normally they mostly had computers. They mostly had computers in the red building, cause that's where I had aftercare, and I went out they had computers all they had 3 floors on the red building. Actually no, they have a lot of floors in the blue building, but they had at least a few floors in the red building. So normally most of the time what I did when I was whenever I got an aftercare or sometimes when I was in middle school. I mean, mostly when I was in elementary school, they had computers on the side, but then they removed it and they changed it to Chromebooks. So they took away all the computers they had inside of the rooms because normally they had a bunch of computers, and I saw high schoolers playing on it before, and so I used to play on those, but now they only let us use Chromebooks now for that room now. They have some other rooms they allow with computers in. I mean, my 7th grade technology teacher had both bunch of computers in in his room and the room next door to him that was for 8th graders. who afterwards, if they try to go like into 8th grade, they could go to they go to another technology teacher. They teach you how to like do all this kind of shit. Like they teach me how to code, but I wasn't the best with coding because I didn't pay attention to coding. All I paid attention to was making a game on a computer, video editing, typing, learning how to learning how to fix a computer, learn how to work a computer. That's all I remembered. That's all I remembered what to do. I sucked at coding. I've always sucked at coding. I was never the best with coding. Whenever I used coding, I mean, actually, you know what? I've learned how to code before, but still at the same time, I wasn't really the best with it. So what I normally did was they had this little beginning coding software. They teach me how to do it, and they also teach me how to code. Like they also had a website with Scratch, and on Scratch they had like these things where like you could like put different things into the thing. You could put like you can make like this move. You can make this talk. You can make it like do anything you want in it. So Scratch was also a coded application you could use to make your own games, but also I sucked at it too because all I did was remix other people's coded softwares. Even though even though I don't even have the balls to fucking make these. Actually, I've coded some Scratch projects before, but they all got removed because someone got in my account and deleted all my coded projects. So I had to start off fresh again, and I had to make new Scratch projects. So yeah, there was normally once like years ago, like 2016 through 2018. They all got removed though because like I said, they all got removed by one of my friends because some friend decided to log in my account and delete all of it. I don't know which friend who did it, but for some reason they all got removed. I don't know if I got hacked or not, but I'm thinking for some reason they knew for some reason. Let's just say my Scratch password was the same password for my actual name, and I'm not trying to dox myself. It's just I changed it at least. So it was so basically it was just my name, and then the same password was my username. Now I'm not saying that's actually one of my passwords right now. I changed one of them because I wanted to make it strong. Because I'm not letting someone go to my account and delete all my shit. If someone deletes all my shit, I won't be so happy. I'll get so stressed out to the point where I want to fucking do something to myself. And I don't want to do that because sometimes I get kind of all angry, and I get all really upset afterwards. I mean, I don't want to do something bad to myself. I want to say I would get really stressed out, and I would start getting feel I would feel like that way though. But I don't. But
Self-harm, basically.
What?
Did self-harm?
Well, I mean,
Well, in the mindset, you're trying to say basically.
yeah,
Not in a good mood.
yeah. I just say that in my mind. Yeah, I just say that in my mind sometimes. Yeah. So, because there's people that go through depression. I don't have depression, but there's people that go through depression and deal with that every single day. There's people that deal with it every single day. People deal with self-harm every day. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like you do. Because there's also people that's bipolar as well. People who have bipolar can also have those thoughts too. So let's just say that you're dealing with something, and you're dealing with something you don't want to feel like. Normally what I do is I just use my meditation things. I do my things where I try to forget about it, or mostly what I normally do is I take a shower afterwards, because shower helps me. Or what I could also mostly if you're ever feeling that way, make sure you should call someone. Call a hotline they can help you with, or call anyone close to you that are dealing with this right now. if you're dealing with something that's very serious that you're going through, make sure you talk to someone close or talk to a hotline that can help you to make you not go through this. Cause a lot of people die every single day. And that's why sometimes I try my best to not go through that. So but in my own way, normally what I do is I talk to my mom about it immediately if I feel like it. Sometimes I feel like I want to take a shower afterwards. What I feel like, you could take a shower to clear that off your mind. It's possible. You could just take a shower, clear those minds off of you, and just use that to make you feel better. Let's just say that. Because showers is like meditation. Because, let's just imagine, you're feeling like you wanna, you're feeling like shit. You wanna, do something to make you feel better. Just take a shower. Or, you could walk away and take deep breaths. That's possible. But shower definitely helps. That always helps for me. Showers always helps for me whenever I'm feeling down or feeling bad about myself. Especially when I'm feeling those thoughts. That's because people are gonna be like that.
Whenever I have suicidal thoughts, I'm like, I should just try to take a nap.
That's also another thing you should do. Also, if you're just because when you deal with those thoughts, you could be tired. You could just fall asleep, take a nap, and then feel a lot better afterwards. Cause napping and showering helps. Let's just say, whatever that helps you, shower helps me. It's whatever you feel like that helps you, that will help you feel much better. Is anything you're dealing with right now, you're feeling with, just think of some common thing that make you feel much better. And if you think about it, just do it. If you're feeling that way, you could just go. I mean, or what you could also do is you could also you could listen to music, but sometimes it doesn't always work all the time. But you could sometimes use music to help you calm down. I've used music to help me calm down before, but sometimes sometimes it helps you. I'm saying sometimes it helps you calm down. The reason why I say sometimes is because you could also keep thinking about it while you're listening to music too. Just find songs that make you happy. Don't be depressed in songs that make you feel worse. Just find songs that make you happy. Or just listen to calm music. Listen to a bunch of noises. Not really loud noises, just really soothing, relaxing noises that help you feel like you wanna that helps you feel like you're feeling calm, you're meditating, you feel like you wanna calm yourself down. Like that. Yeah. Any possible way you could also use, they all work. All of that works.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of things when people say take deep breaths, that never helped me.
Yeah, true. You could because sometimes when people tell you that, it just makes you feel worse because you're just kind of let's just say if someone tells you to calm down, sometimes they're probably just saying that because either they're trying to help you or sometimes they realize they just don't realize they don't understand you well. Because if people don't understand you well, that's because they don't truly care about you and they're just an acquaintance. So and most acquaintances don't really understand other people, especially people with autism. People have autism and people go through that. Sometimes
Can I say something?
Yeah, what's up?
This is what I hate about having autism. Nobody will ever fucking understand you at all. And they'll also make fun of you for having autism. Even if you barely have it. And even if you have some of the same things that they have wrong, stuttering issues or issues with memory, they still make fun of you of it. And if you confront them, more people will make fun of you because of it.
Yeah, because that's exactly what I feel like. Because sometimes people don't. If sometimes people get confused, they could just say to you like, oh, you're so stupid. You don't even know this. That's just because they don't realize that I have a disability and I don't understand it well. Because just because someone doesn't know something and they're confused by it doesn't mean you're dumb. They're just saying that because they want to make you feel bad. And they want to make them feel good about themselves because they think they're so cool about themselves. They want to be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make fun of someone because they don't know this. So we're just gonna say they're stupid. They're really so like they feel. I want to make them feel like shit. Okay, you can't just do that. First off, you can't do that. Because if you're making fun of someone who's definitely dealing with something they deal with every day, dealing with stuttering, dealing with confusion, dealing with things they don't understand, people dealing with learning disabilities that they don't feel like they have a hard time trying to learn, and people trying to don't understand this, and they have horrible social cues. You can't just go to someone and make fun of them just because they're doing this and doing that. You gotta at least, if you're gonna be like that, if you're gonna be like that, I don't need to be your friend. You could just scram off and don't worry about you. Or, what you could also do is, you could ignore them, but sometimes maybe that won't always work, but if they keep bothering you, then you have the right to get them out of the chat and remove them from the chat. And if they're gonna keep doing that to you, making a bunch of accounts, keep on doing it. If they're gonna keep on doing that, just keep on doing it. I know it's gonna be annoying, but they will stop if you keep doing it. It's possible. I've done that many times. The same dude that was in my chat earlier, that keeps saying a bunch of shit to me, I've banned him multiple times. Because he keeps on, he keeps on bothering the fuck out of me, so I rather just ban. I kept every time, I could tell by his username, and I could tell by his profile that I could tell that's him. So that's why sometimes I get rid of that person and get him out of my life. If they're not gonna understand you, just don't worry about it. They're just doing that. They just want to be themselves. They're just being idiots. Because if they're just calling you stupid, they're the one that's stupid. Because if you just imagine, let's just say someone calls you stupid. That means if you're calling someone stupid, that means you're the one that's being stupid. Let's just say that. That's all of that. All I'm saying is that you could. If some people, let's just say, truly, if people really they all don't really talk to you as much. They all want to get you. They all want to tease you for attention. They all want to do that shit to you. They're just doing that for attention. They're being attention seekers. There's so many attention seekers out there that want to be themselves and they want to be like a piece of shit to others. People with disabilities, people that deal with someone that has Down syndrome, people dealing with people that have Asperger's, or people that don't know how to say, people that don't have a bad time having vocabulary, sometimes, and just saying someone, I just say, if someone doesn't know this word, and they're saying oh, you don't know this word, you're so stupid, yeah, okay, first off, they don't know the word. They're still trying to learn, okay? They have autism. You should have just called them stupid. They're still trying to learn. They're taking a while for them to learn. So don't be a piece of shit and say to themselves that they're stupid. Because you're the one that's being stupid there. They're trying to learn. And people take time for them to learn. People might take years for them to learn. Even people with 18-year-olds still gotta learn different words and still learn different stuff they have to understand. People deal with it every single day. And people gotta understand this. My chat has to understand this. Everyone has to understand it. People who don't have a disability, but people make fun of it, probably doesn't even have a life. They probably just doing this because they want to be so funny, and they're probably just doing that because they want to be like, they want to make them feel happy about themselves. They're just, and let's just say, if you don't want to make them feel happy, just ban them from the chat, and they could also be like, they could also get angry. Yeah, the point of trying to make trolls, the point of trying to beat trolls is making the trolls angry, so that you can make them, you can make yourself feel good with the trolls, so that you can ban those trolls and get rid of them. Because there's so many trolls out there. I've gotten trolled by someone that said I was because let's just say I was with my cousin. They called me a child groomer, a fucking pedophile, a fucking a groomer, all that kind of shit. I said groomer twice. I don't give a shit. So
that's just, yeah, that's them. That's
that
their
was
opinion.
though, dude. You can't just go on someone's chat just because I'm with my cousin, or any close family member of mine, thinking that I'm a fucking child groomer just because I'm hanging out with my cousin. That doesn't make any sense. You can't just do that. You can't just go in someone's chat and make fun of them because they're having a good time. I was happy, and these people made me feel unhappy afterwards because these people made me stressed out to the point where they wanted to bother the fuck out of me. And there was three people in the chat saying this. Three. There was, and I'm not gonna say their names because they're probably like, you know, bad. They're probably bad names. And they're probably, and I'm not gonna say them because I don't want you to attack them. I don't want any of my chat or anybody in my stream to attack them. But they were in my stream, and I was with my cousin Luca, so that they decided to go in my chat and decided to do that to me. They just spammed in my chat. They spammed the same word. They spammed this. They spammed that. They spammed this, and they kept on going. And then they stopped for some reason. They went on for like 30 minutes, and they kept on going. They kept on going. So I got rid of them because I don't want them to be doing that again. Because if they come back in my chat and if they come back making new accounts, if they're gonna make new accounts, they can just, you know what? They're just being trolls. Just keep banning them. They're just not gonna realize that they're not gonna realize that I go through like, you know, anxiety, go through autism every single day. Yeah. And that wasn't cool of them for them to do that. That wasn't cool. That was just horrible.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, I see you have CapCut open.
Yeah, so can you show me how to use this? Like, how do I import one of my videos?
Okay,